I feel that now's my time.
Has it been frustrating at all to watch the recent middleweight title fights and know that you were so close to it? And what's been that feeling like?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. You know, I mean, I got knocked out of Dan Henderson. You know, so it's frustrating on one hand, but on the other hand, you know why I'm not there fighting for that title. Obviously, I got knocked out, and then I lost a decision against Vanderlei. It was a close fight. I do feel I won that fight, but you know, you don't let it go to the judges. Vanderlei fought a great fight. I'd love to get the chance to avenge all my losses one day, but there's only 3 of them. One's set up here. Who knows one day? I don't know. I just want to keep fighting, keep training. I've no injuries. I want to fight regularly and fight the best guys.
And you obviously need to win a couple more fights, but when you look at the champion Anderson Silva, how do you rate yourself against him?
He looks amazing all the time. You know, he's an incredible fighter. You know, so it's a tough nut to crack, but I'd like to get my shot. I'd like to try and do that.
And then I had one for Rashad. In your last 2 fights, you've really kind of brought back your wrestling. And I'm wondering if is that just something that you thought was useful against these 2 last guys, or after the Machida fight, did you kind of feel that you needed to bring that back a little more?
Yeah, I felt like I needed to bring it back after the Machida fight. One thing that happens sometimes when you find success in one area, and I found success standing up, I kind of forgot about the area where I was the strongest at. And you know, me doing my wrestling and stuff like that now is just going to be just something I do from here on out, just because no matter how far I go with my stand-up, I always got to remember my bread and butter is my wrestling, and from there, everything else stems from that.
A few questions, starting with Rampage. Before the fight, Rampage, you said that Rashad was a good fighter, a good athlete, but not a fighter. Did your opinion of him change after this fight?
No, not at all. That was more of a wrestling match than a fight. You know what I'm saying? He did throw some good punches and stuff like that. He did good, but he wrestled a lot. I think he's a great athlete. You know what I'm saying? He was stronger than I expected, and he was faster than I expected. But you know what I'm saying? You know, he did a great job.
And Mike, leading up to the fight, especially this week, a lot of talk about Dan Miller's personal situation. And on the flip side, you know, you're a new father, you're a family man. Did you even know about this stuff, and did you think about it? Just curious about, you know, just sort of your heart, how you felt about going up against a guy who lost 2 in a row and who was dealing with this.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it up until just the other day. So obviously my heart goes out to him, and the thoughts are with him and his family. Being a family man myself, I just words cannot describe, you know, what he must have went through. So it was difficult in that sense, but at the end of the day, you know, we're here to do a job. We're professional fighters, and you know, we've got to put that out of our minds. I spoke to Dan after the fight. He came to my dressing room, and you know, we hugged him. We had a good chat. You know, the guy's a class act, you know, and I wish him all the best in his career. You know, he really is, you know, a nice guy and a great fighter.
And John, Dana talked about how young you are, and this is your first fight in the United States. What's it like for you to be up here now with these big names? Is this a little surreal for you right now?
A little surreal, I guess, but it's a great experience, you know, and I'm enjoying every minute. Coming over to Vegas as well, and competing the first time in America for me was a great experience, you know, and to have such a great opponent and be in such a great organization is really good for me, you know.
Okay, one more for Little Nog. You said after the fight to Joe Rogan that you thought you won. Now, after you've had time to talk to your training partners and your camp, do you still think you won the fight?
Yeah, I think I won this match because I've been following for knockout for all the time, but he's very tough. He proved he's a good wrestler. He good level, and I'm very happy. I'd like to say, Dana, thank you for the choice, the right guy to put me so I can have a chance to make the best fight of the night.
For Mike, please. Can you talk a little bit about what happened as you were coming into the cage? Obviously, there was a little bit of delay there, and kind of what happened exactly, and was there any lasting effect once the fight got started?
Well, with the Vaseline?
Right.
Yeah, it was just one of those things, I suppose. The cornerman, well, whoever it was, putting the Vaseline on, just got a real good splodge of it in my eye there, and I'm kind of standing there, and you know, there's thousands of people and millions at home on TV, and I'm like, I don't want to look like a faggot, like I don't want to get in there, but I've got Vaseline in my eye.
He didn't mean that. He didn't mean that word. Learn from my mistakes.
You know what I'm saying.
They don't. They don't, trust me.
Yeah, but, you know, so I was kind of like, it just fits so well, though. Yeah, I didn't want to look like I was, you know, nervous about getting in the cage, but I had, you know, you've got to make sure you haven't got Vaseline in your eye. So, you know, a lot of opportunity for jokes there.
And also, Mike, you know, you've taken a lot of criticism this week recently for a lack of power. People say you don't have the knockout power. You didn't get it tonight. It looked like you hit him with, I mean, everything. Is that more of a testament to Dan Miller's chin, or did you feel like, hey, there's something I didn't do exactly right?
If you go speak to my Thai coach, my boxing coach, you know, and my sparring partners, believe me, I hit with power. I haven't been getting the knockouts lately. I think what it was down to was subconsciously I fought a lot of wrestlers back to back, and you know, there's been a lot of talk about people in the UK can't wrestle. I think me and John both, you know, we disproved that. But I think subconsciously I started fighting on my back foot, you know, because I was so worried about the takedown, and you know, obviously UK guys don't wrestle in college and things like that. So I was subconsciously starting to fight on the back foot, and I was, you know, obviously doing that you don't generate the same power. So I've had to retrain myself not to do that and to move forward and to plant my feet and go forward. I was looking hopefully to knocking him out tonight or getting a TKO or a stoppage, but you know, as I said, he was very durable. I hit him with some great shots, and you know, he stood right in there. So full credit to him.
And for John, please, can you talk about what was going through your mind in the first round? Like I said, you're a young guy. This is a big stage. It looks like you basically have the fight finished, but Diego showed some resiliency there. What was going through your mind at that point?
Well, I was kind of thought he would go for the shot, so that's when I threw the knee, obviously, and connecting and stuff. I was trying to finish quite badly in that situation, but Diego's very resilient. He pulled through, but after that, I think the momentum kind of went a lot more in my favour, and it took a lot out of Diego. And definitely stopped him from being so much up and down with his level changes, and kind of forced him to become a stand-up fighter and stand with me a lot more.
Is there any disappointment at all that you didn't get to finish, or is this such a big win that it just doesn't matter how it comes?
All of us athletes, like we always like to win and get a good finish and always finish in spectacular fashion. I mean, like, it's not for a lack of power or a lack of trying on any of our parts. You know, we would try our best to actually get the win in that kind of fashion. So I wanted it, but sadly it didn't. Diego's an incredibly tough fighter. You know, I've watched him a lot as well, and growing up with him and watching him, he's a great fighter, very tough guy as well.
For Antonio. Antonio, how close was Jason to getting the submission on you? He had the guillotine on you for quite a while before you were able to work your way out. Was it very near?
He gave me a very good tight guillotine, but I've been training a lot of escapes with my brother, with Mark Munoz. I think I was very confident to escape.
And how did the crowd's reaction to the fight, and specifically to you winning the fight, did that bother you at all, that they booed so much? And
yes, yeah. We made a very good, very close fight, but I know I'm very confident I win this fight. But he's proved he's a good guy. He had a good game, jiu-jitsu and wrestling too. But I thought he made me very surprised, because we thought I was very confident to get a knockout, but he's proved he's a tough guy.
You were originally going to fight Forrest Griffin tonight. Would you like to shift your focus back to Forrest Griffin now and try to make that fight happen? And I guess that would also play over to Dana a little bit too.
Yeah, I keep want to fight with Forrest Griffin again. Next time, but I'd like to say sorry to my fans, because I think I had to change all my plan to fight to this guy, because I'm supposed to fight with Forrest. Then we know he's a wrestling too, but he's a very good stand-up guy. Then I had to change the plan to fight with the wrestling guy. Then, but I want to fight with him for sure.
And Dana, are you still looking at making that fight happen? Maybe the next time out, once Forrest is able to heal up.
Yeah, it depends. You know, I think he came out of that fight without any injuries. He seems like he's okay. Forrest had shoulder surgery, and he's going to be out for a little while. So
it just kind of depends.